Hey there, MRA, my Real Africanist. This is Marie Ya Jouf, the Real Africanist, and I would like to welcome you to my channel. If you have been here before, thank you for coming back. If this is your first time here, I welcome you with open arms. Look, I just heard that our fellow YouTuber, Wode Maya's uh, channel has been hacked, right? And that is very, very disturbing to me, right? That is very, very problematic. Okay, so I heard that. I read that earlier today on YouTube, and I tried to check to pull up Wode Maya's channel, and it's actually not there, right? I heard that all of his content is gone. Okay, now I guess everybody here on this channel knows Wode Maya if you follow issues pertaining to Africa on social media, okay? So Wode Maya is a young YouTuber that's got started, I guess, about, 9 or 10 years ago, or sometimes like sometime ago, right? He was living in China at the time. He was actually going to school, and he has a degree in, I think, aerospace engineering or something like that. And he wanted to start a YouTube channel after realizing, how Africa was looked at throughout the world, right? He wanted to change the negative perceptions of Africa. Okay, so initially his father was against him doing that. However, he eventually approved of him doing that, but he said only under the conditions that he would show the real story of Africa, right? And so that's how Wode Maya got started, right? And he has done that, and he has done an excellent job at doing that, right? So I'm really, really disturbed about that. So I want everybody to support Wode Maya and reach out to Wode Maya in any way you can, right? There are some people that are saying that this is an inside job, and I don't know about that. I don't even want to push that story out there, because there's no evidence to suggest that that is true. And we know that in this age of technology, anybody can be hacked, right? I mean, these YouTube, these social media platforms, and the owner of these platforms, I'm quite sure they do the best they can to secure the content that is on their platform. But you know how it is. As soon as they probably create better security systems, there's someone out there trying to find a way to break into that system. That's just the way it is, okay? So probably somebody that is anti-African, anti-black, or somebody jealous, and, we really, really don't know what happened. But again, the breach is very problematic, and I hope that YouTube can rectify this issue and can restore Wode Maya's content, because I've only been on YouTube for a few days, about 20 something days, and I see the work that goes into being a YouTuber, right? It is a lot of hard work, especially if you want to add value, right? I mean, I guess some people probably feel like, well, you're just talking. No, it's not just talking. You have to do the work. You have to upload, and they make really professional looking videos, right? And I'm quite sure it costs. I mean, that's what hurts the most. I am really saddened and disappointed by this, because it really hurts. This man has spent money to travel all around Africa, which is not cheap. He has spent money on equipment. I mean, he has put his time and energy into that, right? And he can't get that back, okay? So hopefully he has his own work backed up. But not only has Wode Maya done an excellent job at showing Africa in a positive light, what he has done that is most important, right? He has changed the minds of African people, of people of African descent all over the world about Africa, right? He has also increased the esteem and reliance in young African people, right? That is the most important thing. He has made people of African descent take another look uh, at their countries, right? And at what their countries had to offer, right? And that is a big step towards not only changing the African narrative, but changing the reality on the ground about African societies, right? Because we really need our young people to stay in Africa, right? We need them to see the opportunities that exist in Africa, right? Not to just look for government officials and leaders to do it, but they need the confidence and the ability to do it for themselves, right? And I know some young people probably saying, yeah, that's easier said than done, or that's easy for you to say because you live in America. But it's not just about living in America, okay? You know, we have our issues here in America as well. And let me tell you, most African Americans that are coming to Africa, we don't have any money. We don't have the money like that. That is a misnomer that everybody has money. Most of us are saving to travel to the continent, and we're using our last money just to have that experience in our life to say that we were able to make it back to the continent. But there is a reason why when we come there, we automatically see opportunity, right? Because just like, you know, it's an old saying that a king is not looked at or something as a king in his own country. Well, that's the same thing everywhere you go, right? There's opportunities that we feel as African American people that are not open to us, right? And that there are glass ceilings that are set. There are boundaries that are set. I mean, there are industries here that they still have the first black this, the first black to do that, the first black to do this. Now, you think that that is a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence, right? That's just the reality of it. However, back to Wode Maya, right? We have to really support Wode Maya. I meant to go on to his Facebook channels and his Twitter channels before I came on, but I forgot, and I just end up coming on because this message is so near and dear to my heart, right? But if he's on those channels, you know, we have to go over there and make that happen for Wode Maya. You know, I mean, like I said, this is bigger than just one person. This is bigger than just one individual. It's bigger than Wode Maya. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than any other YouTuber out there, right? But I have to say that all of the YouTubers and social influencers are doing an excellent job, right? And everybody has their own unique and different flair and style. And that's what we need. Everybody should not be the same, right? Everybody is not going to be a Wode Maya. He just was put here for this time, right? But I just, because, you know, I don't know if I told you all, but I met Wode Maya myself. I met Wode Maya at the Google Awards, Google 2022 in Rwanda. I was in Rwanda at the time that happened, right? And it was just such a pleasure. I was so happy. I was overjoyed. I was overwhelmed, right? Like a little kid in the candy store, like a old groupie. I ran over to Wode Maya, right? Me and a friend of mine, a fellow African diaspora who I met, who was from the UK, right? And this is how we build relationships. This is the real African diaspora, right? I ran over to Wode Maya, and I'm telling you, he was just as humble as he is on YouTube. That's who he is in person, right? And he was just as humble. You know, he allowed us to take a picture with him. I mean, like I say, I was overwhelmed because I respect hard work. I respect what he has done. I respect him going against the grain, right? To like I say, show Africa in a favorable light. And not only did he show Africa in a favorable light, he wants Africa, he wants that to be the reality of Africa, right? He really wants the best for Africa, right? So like I said, he has touched the hearts and the minds of from the youngest child to the eldest adult, right? And that's not easy. He has not only bridged the gap between the African diaspora, he has bridged the gap between the ages, right? And like I say, that's not an easy thing to do, right? But that's because of his love, his energy, and his respect for what he is doing and for Africa, right? I mean, last week he was even scheduled to do an interview with President Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana, right? I mean, it didn't happen, but at least it was scheduled, and I believe that it will happen, right? So we have to support Wode Maya, right? We can't get caught up in petty jealousy, and think that there's only room for one person at the top. That's how they want us to think. That's what they have been feeding us forever. And that's how they have been able to stop our momentum, over and over again. But this time around, we cannot allow that to happen. Time is moving on. The ancestors are calling us to be here, to be present in this moment, and we must move, and we must move now, right? So I just want to say, they can hack into everybody's account. They can take his account down, but I'll tell you what, you cannot stop. There's no force in hell that can stop what is happening across the African continent and across the African diaspora now. I mean, we see it in the Caribbeans, right? We see it in Europe, right? We see it on the African continent. We see it in America, right? It is happening, right? And it's going to happen. So, we have to continue to support those who put their time, energy, and effort out there to bring our people to a place that is rightfully where we should be. Okay. So, again, I just want to encourage the young people to, stay in your countries, right? Be creative, come up with innovative ideas, innovative platforms, right? Because we need to own our own products and platforms, right? We need to have ownership. We can't depend on these public platforms, right? Because believe it or not, I mean, we make a lot of content creators make a lot of money for these platforms, but let me tell you, nobody is going to support you in competing with them. Okay. I mean, and that's just what I believe. I am not a conspiracy theorist and all of that, but once you get to a certain position, they're going to feel threat. So we have to make sure that we build our own platforms and that we have the infrastructure in our countries to support those platforms. And I just ask young people and anybody to quit selling your ideas and your ingenuity and your inventions to these big conglomerates. I know you need the money, and I mean, cash is king. I know that, in this world where everything costs. But be patient. In the long run, you will make more money and be able to help many more people than you ever would by selling your ideas and your ingenuity off to people who basically don't give a hoot about you and about your people and about your country. Right. So you have to remember that. Like I say, these young people were made for this day. They understand technology. They understand the platforms. And we need that investment in Africa. Okay. So again, like I said, we can try to find out what's going. I guess we'll find out what's happening with Wode Maya as time goes by, right? But hopefully YouTube can fix this problem and rectify this situation, because I mean that is like his. I'm quite sure his intellectual property or his technological property. That's like is worth its weight in gold, right? It has helped so many of us, right? It has done so much to energize us around this movement, okay? This movement to change the African narrative and change the reality of life for people of African descent. Okay, so I'm signing off. I want to say Happy Black History Month. I don't want to forget that. Day 24, always remember the sacrifices and the accomplishments of those that came before you, that paved the way for you, right? For you to have life and have it more abundantly, right? Your ancestors and your grandparents and great grandparents and those in the struggle, they did that for you, right? And so we have to continue struggling and continue to fight so that we can make them proud and we can continue to tell their stories. Okay. Also, again, like I say, I am the creator of the aspect model, and that's ASPECT, and that is the African System of Progressive Education and Communications Technique. And what I do is to create projects and platforms to tell African stories, right? Or I'm sorry, to create the environment to tell um, uh, to talk about topics that are conducive to African life and African experiences. So again, you can go over to my channel at the realafricanist.com, right? You can also see my picture of where I met Wode Maya, like I say, like a big groupie, but that's okay because I was very excited. And I'm telling you, I've been looking for this to happen all of my life, right? And it is happening now, and I'm pleased and I am content about that, right? If I don't see the long-term manifestation of this movement, I'm good with that because it has started. Okay, so again, you can catch me here. You can catch me on Facebook at Marie Ya Jouf. That's MARIEYAJOUF, right? And please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also hit the notification button so you can be notified when I put up a new channel, right? Also, I wanted to give a shout out to this young lady out there. She's in Ghana too. Her name is Summertime, right? She's a young lady, right? And she is going to be hot in this journalist space, right? The girl has it going on, and I'm really, really proud of her, right? She has such a bright light. So also her channel is Summertime. It's SAMATIME. Okay. And again, I just want to remind you all, we're all in this together, right? We are all in this together, right? It is room for more than one of us at the top, right? We can make the room at the top. So we don't have to hate on each other. We don't have to look down on each other. We don't have to worry about, people accepting us. We have to accept ourselves, and we have to love on one another. So I'm out, peace, one family, one Africa, one love. Remember to fight the power. Remember to always go deeper, and always remember that there is more than one side to the story. Okay, I'll talk to y'all later, and have a great day.